president tonight addressing the nation on measures to stabilize and bring back order. He announced tonight the death toll has now risen up to 212, 180 of those in KwaZulu-Natal, 32 of those here in Gauteng, 131 murder cases being investigated and 81 inquest dockets that have been opened. 2,550 people have been arrested so far in what the president calls a threat to our constitutional order. Let's get reaction now from leader of UDM Bantu Holomisa joining us tonight. Good evening, General, and thank you very much for your time. Is President Cyril Ramaphosa up for the task of the situation that the country is facing right now?
That's not a good question to ask from me. Let me respond first to what he had said. The UDM has noted his statement of intent as well as the briefing about the latest statistics on the ground. From the UDM's point of view, this is one incident that deserves to be investigated. As we all know that the executive is likely to close ranks if they have not started without anyone taking responsibility. Elsewhere, the leadership of the security cluster should have been shown the door. But as we all know here, it's the party first and the country later. Parliament should be convened as soon as possible to consider, among others, to establish a multi-party committee to investigate this mess.
Yeah. And
they must be given all the powers. We don't want another judicial commission of inquiry because it's expensive.
Right.
But the terms of reference must be clear. Unfortunately, those terms of reference must also cover the behavior of the executive and the reaction of the security forces.
General, let's stay there with the reaction of the executive. I'm going to hand you over to Bongiwe in a moment, but I want you to tell me your views. Do you think there are senior government officials who should be facing criminal liability right now because of what has happened?
They should be at least some ministers, because what you see in this country, every now and again, the people who brief South Africans are executive members. You never see the accounting officers. Now, before you go there, you have to establish, did those accounting officers got instructions or orders from the president or the ministers? When did the ministers present a plan to the president for approval for operation to start on, to be started? Today, President is still telling us that it's only 10,000 which has been deployed. Yet he told us last week, sometime 2 days ago, that 25,000 will be deployed. That means they are not in the military deployment state of readiness. They are not ready.
Now, one of the things that came out, earlier on this week, we saw reports suggesting that Thulani Ngcobo, the former, spy, as they put it then, who was working then in the intelligence department, was going to be a person of interest. He was looking to be arrested. Those were what the reports were suggesting. Tonight, we're seeing him walking out of the police station saying that he was going there to assist officers. And a lot of questions then are being raised tonight about whether or not these 12 people that we've been told about do exist, these alleged instigators. Does government then not need to make their names public in order for us to know that they do have somewhat of a handle on the situation? Because we've just been told that they were poorly prepared.
That's precisely why I'm saying this is one incident which needs to be investigated thoroughly. reference to the gentleman you are talking about, it also shows that there's a lack of discipline at cabinet level down to the administrators. Why did they mention his name if they are not sure about the evidence? Why expose this gentleman? If he was shot at by the people in the street to say, yeah, here is this dog who caused mayhem here, and be shot at, they had no discipline. That's why we're in this mess.
Did the president miss an opportunity, General, in not declaring a state of emergency?
I'm not sure. Even if there was, he would have declared a state of emergency. Who would have enforced that? Even if he had said there must be a curfew, who would have enforced that curfew? Because the security forces have displayed their behavior, lack of discipline, no regard for what is happening. So, yeah, you can just mess them, try and all sorts of things. This government should have been told to pack and go and come up with an interim government.
And
simple as that.
When you're then looking at what he's saying, we will extinguish the fires that are raging, we'll act against those who lit the flame and those who are spreading it. Are you then hopeful? It doesn't sound to us tonight like you are hopeful that they are going to get to the bottom of who is behind this and bring those people to book.
Well, we are still going to wait for the NPA, that sleepy institution. Good luck to you.
I tell you what, Thabo, it doesn't sound like Bantu Holomisa is really convinced at what we heard tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Holomisa, for your time, as you've given us then your reaction to the president's speech.